Hey everyone, so to start off we're using Too Faced Eyeshadow Insurance and we're applying it all over the lid and under the eye. You can use a brush, but for myself I'm just going to use a finger. Now from the Kat Von D palette I'm using this color and this brush from e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I'm going to start off on my crease blending all pretty much. I'm trying to buff in the color because this is going to be the transition color to the smoky eye, and I'm just making sure to work it in to get the kind of effect that I'm looking for. So from Naked to this lovely palette here, I am going to use Snakebite with this brush and get it all over my hand. And I'm going to start just at the right in the inner corner crease, like not to make a cut crease, but I'm just kind of going underneath the previous color, and I'm going to be blending this in, but also bringing it more so down instead of going up. And taking the previous brush, I'm going to blend it in together. I'm just going back in with the Snakebite every so often just to make sure I'm getting the darkness that I want. I don't want it to be too dark, but I want to make a nice gradient. Now going in with black from the Kat Von D palette, I'm at first lightly patting the color on because this is because I wasn't quite sure how it was going to work with what I wanted, but after I saw how the product was working, I went back and I added a lot more, and I just kept patting this in a downward motion, and as I was doing this I was bringing the brush more upward towards the crease. And then taking this brush we used to add Snakebite, I'm going into the crease to take out that harsh line from the black to the brown, and we're just gonna keep blending and applying. So every time I apply the black, I'm gonna go back in with the brown to make the gradient I want. Okay, so now taking Virgin, I'm sorry, I think this is Bootycall, actually, Bootycall from Naked too. I'm adding the highlight on my brow bone area. So using dark brown from IT Cosmetics, the brow pots, I'm beginning my brows. Now for me, personally, there is absolutely no certain way I do my brows. It's honestly something different all the time, depending on my mood or if I'm in a rush or what I felt like. I don't have a set color. I usually like my brows to be very dark, no matter how many times my family complains about it, but you know, they're my brows, so I will do what I like with them. But for this I always do use an angled brush, and I always do go in an upward motion when I get towards the inner corners of my brows. But the shape is always different. So for this time, I'm just kind of following where I'd like my arch to be. And I'm going back in with a light brown shadow, and I'm just pressing down on the hairs. Now, I'm using the color Midnight from e.l.f. Cosmetics, the eyeliner cream pots, and I'm going to start my eyeliner. My apologies for not realizing that I didn't catch that part on camera, but I just went on the lash line first and then I went in on the waterline. I'm so sorry, this is quite blurry, I couldn't tell at first, but I'm just going on my waterline and I'm applying this blue onto both water and lash line. And I kind of like the way this blue just like pops too. As soon as I put it on, I was immediately happy. So now taking this brush, I am applying the light brown shadow we first used on our crease, and I'm just applying it underneath where we put the blue. And then I'm going to go back in with Snakebite and apply that as well. So this is a glitter primer from Elf Cosmetics, and I'm putting a very light amount, like a drop amount, and I'm pressing it into a black glitter that I have, and I'm lightly pressing on my lid. I don't want to put too much. And I'm using Smashbox mascara. I'm not really a lash girl, and I'm using this lip balm from H&M. It's pomegranate, and I'm buffing that into my lips first. It's better to do this with your fingers or your brush, but when you're working on the client, please use a brush. They don't like it when you touch them with your fingers. Okay, so now I'm taking a moisturizer, and I'm just brushing that into my face. Normally I do this with my hands or my beauty blender, but I have to clean my beauty blender. So I tried out this brush from Hourglass Cosmetics, and I was in love. And I love the feeling of this. So now I'm taking MAC Fix and Prep, and I'm just spraying lightly on my face and applying the Hourglass Cosmetics primer, and just making myself look like a little Amazon person. And taking the same brush for a moisturizer, I'm just buffing that in. So now I'm adding MAC Strobe cream. It's like a highlighter cream, kind of. And the one I'm actually using was like $10 at the MAC store. It's like a smaller version. They do have bigger versions of this, but this is beautiful. I usually apply this on my highlighted areas, like where I'm going to highlight, and then I blend it down to the rest of my face. So, but this gives you such a beautiful glow, and I'm using my foundation brush to blend in now the highlighted area on my face. So I'm using Hourglass Cosmetics foundation. So it makes for like a dewy texture, and I absolutely love it when my face is dewy. But I'm applying it on my foundation brush, and then I'm just blending that into my face. And the color I'm using for myself is golden. So now I'm taking e.l.f. Cosmetics concealer, and I'm just applying under my eyes and on the tip of my nose and at the cupid's bow of my lips. And now I'm going to let that sit for a little bit without applying any powder, and I'm going to think about all the life choices I've made for myself this past year. Like, did I really need to go make myself a batch of donuts without letting anybody else know? Did I need to add the extra sugar on it? Did I also really need to buy the extra mascara for myself when I really should have used it for the clients? And also, I could have waited and gotten up an extra hour and gone to the gym instead of just sitting down and playing video games. I could have. And yes, I did sit here like this for 5 minutes making faces. I don't remember which thought was going through my head. Anyways, so now we're going to blend it all in. So I'm just taking my foundation brush, and I'm blending in the highlighted underneath my eyes, the tip of my nose, and the upper lip. My favorite contour palette from Five and Below, might I add. And I'm going to contour my face. I like to make a little rounded motion towards the end to kind of, instead of making a straight line. I don't do that all the time, but sometimes it's a little bit of a preference. And I'm just adding the darker color, and I'm blending everything out. Now, to create that jawline I haven't had since I was 17, I'm just going in with the darker part and making sure to blend. When you do this to yourself, guys, you have to remember to blend as much as you possibly can. Even if you sit there for 5 minutes. I am very guilty of leaving the house without doing that. Zoolander. Okay, So I'm not much of a blush girl, but when I do wear it, I either wear it with a lot of glitter in it, or I wear like a peachy color. So this one was Kat Von D's palette blush, and it's very pink. And I'm just adding a highlight to my nose and my upper lip. And now for the lips, I'm using 3 different colors, starting with Tresque, just to get the base down. Now I'm using a matte lip color from e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I'm just filling in my lips now. And now I'm taking a lip stain, also from e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I'm lightly applying it. I'm not trying to change the color. I like the effect this has on my lips. It kind of makes it very matte. So it's cool to have like a dewy complexion and then matte lips. Make sure your pro isn't on lock, and then spray your face. And that's the look, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hey everyone. So that was just like really super awkward for me to be like posing my eyes and my face, because I'm used to being the one behind the camera telling my girls, okay, now look this way, look at me. So it was just awkward because I was like imagining myself telling my girls that. So sorry I keep doing this, by the way, because I have a mirror behind the camera so I can see this thing that's looking at me and in focus. And yeah, I'm not really used to this. The very first time I made a makeup tutorial was when I was about 18 years old, and I used my webcam that was like in my laptop, so I just had to look at myself. And this time I have a camera, and the quality is like not totally 100% amazing, but it's better than a webcam, so I chose to do this method instead. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. This was actually a lot of fun to do, and I've been kind of procrastinating doing these to myself because I'm not very confident in front of the camera. But then it's like I can't tell some of my girls to feel confident if I can't do the same thing. So instead of being a hypocrite, why not just breathe in and make up? FYI, if I keep making tutorials with my face, you're in for a lot of weirdness, a lot of randomness, a lot of random dancing, not to quote iCarly. So I'm not quite sure at the moment what to call this look, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna have a name, because it's gotta have a name. I can't just be like makeup look. Well, I could, but it's not very creative. So anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, since I'm going to be putting this up tomorrow. So yeah, have a great weekend, and I will be recording again next week. So see you soon.